Savannah Chrisley's BS murderous ex to be released on bail. Savannah Chrisley's boyfriend, Robert Shiver's estranged wife, has a history of being dangerous and somewhat unstable. She even tried to kill Robert and has been behind bars, but now Lindsay Shriver is set to be released on bail. Keep reading for more details on this terrifying situation. Savannah Chrisley's BS murderous ex to be released on bail. It is a very interesting situation that Savannah Chrisley has found herself in. At the beginning of 2023, her parents, Todd and Julie Chrisley, were put behind bars for a total of 19 years. Todd is serving 12 years in Pensacola while awaiting a transfer. Julie is in Kentucky serving 7 years, although she had a failed resentencing. This has been an immensely trying time for Savannah as she became the guardian of her 2 younger siblings, Grayson and Chloe. Plus, she was advocating for her parents to be released and wanted prison reform. At the same time, she met Robert Shiver despite saying she was holding off on dating anyone. Savannah seemed to not want anything major to happen in her life until her parents were home. Robert stole her heart, but he was also still married to Lindsay Shiver. It was complicated as his estranged wife also attempted to kill him. She had an alleged murder plot laid out to unalive Robert alongside her now ex-boyfriend, Terrence Bethel, and a hitman per the Thomasville Times-Enterprise. Robert had filed for divorce when he learned that Lindsay was having an affair. According to People, Lindsay and Terrence had their bond revoked after they were found to be speaking to the press. That was a breach of their pre-trial restrictions. Therefore, they had to stay longer. Now Lindsay has been released on $100,000 bail, and as of Thursday, February 13th, should be out. She will next appear in court in August 2025, but no word on how this will affect her divorce. A new chapter. Savannah Chrisley made it clear that she wanted to have babies with Robert Shiver. However, the one caveat was that he had to be divorced. Lindsay Shiver being released may help the process because Savannah noted that Robert was pushing 40. Therefore, she felt he would want to have kids sooner rather than later. She has also talked about freezing her eggs due to her endometriosis, so that would be an insurance policy if it takes longer than expected. As to how she will handle his estranged wife's release is yet to be seen, or if she will address it on her podcast. Savannah Chrisley had always believed that her life was dramatic enough for reality TV, but even she couldn't have imagined the chilling twist that had now gripped her world. The news broke like wildfire. Her boyfriend, Jake Monroe's ex-girlfriend, Vanessa Crowley, was being released on bail after serving only 2 years of her sentence for manslaughter. It was a headline that could have been ripped straight from a Lifetime movie. Savannah Chrisley's boyfriend's murderous ex to be released on bail. The tabloids wasted no time dissecting every sordid detail. Savannah sat in her Nashville apartment, scrolling through the endless notifications flooding her phone. Pictures of Vanessa in court, Jake's name splashed across articles, and inevitably her own face, looking bewildered during a recent coffee run. "I can't believe this is happening," Savannah whispered to herself. The relationship between Jake Monroe and Vanessa Crowley had once been the kind of small-town love story that seemed destined for forever. Until one night, it became the stuff of nightmares. An argument about Jake leaving her for a job opportunity in Atlanta escalated into violence. A shattered glass vase, a fatal injury, and Vanessa's teary 911 call became the town's haunting legacy. The court had accepted her plea of temporary insanity. The judge deemed her a low-level threat and sentenced her to 5 years with the possibility of parole. Now she was free. Savannah's phone buzzed. It was her best friend, Maddie. "Sav, have you seen it?" "Yeah," Savannah said, voice tight. "I seen it. Jake must be freaking out." Savannah rubbed her temple. Jake hadn't answered her texts yet. I don't know. I mean, she tried to kill him, Maddie. How do you process that? And now she's out, Maddie said, voice dropping to a whisper. Do you think she might, come after him? The thought had already rooted itself in Savannah's mind. She ended the call and dialed Jake. This time he answered. Hey, his voice sounded distant. Jake, where are you? At the old diner, he said. Needed some air. Stay there. I'm coming. She threw on a sweatshirt and cap, hoping to avoid curious eyes. But even as she drove, she saw the paparazzi already circling her apartment like vultures. At the diner, Jake sat in the corner booth, hands wrapped around a mug of untouched coffee. His usually warm, blue eyes were hollow. I thought I was past this, he said as she slid into the booth. I know, she said, squeezing his hand. No one should have to go through this again. He shook his head. 2 years. That's all she served. The waitress approached, but one look at their expressions, and she wordlessly backed away. The media's already making a circus out of it, Jake said. Like I'm just some guy who survived a psycho, and you're the reality star who picked up the pieces. Savannah squeezed his hand. They're vultures. We know the truth. A low chime from Jake's phone interrupted them. His face paled as he read the message. What is it? Savannah asked. He turned the phone toward her. A text message from an unknown number read. Miss me, Jake. Can't wait to see you again. Love, V. Savannah's stomach dropped. We have to go to the police. Detective Harris looked skeptical as he read the text message. Could be a prank, he said, scratching his salt and pepper beard. Vanessa was released today, Savannah said. Isn't that a little too coincidental? We'll look into it, Harris promised. But legally, she served her time. She has a restraining order to stay away from Jake. Jake leaned forward. She didn't exactly follow rules last time. Harris nodded. We'll assign a patrol to swing by your apartment. Keep your phones on and stay alert. As they left the station, Savannah saw a woman across the street wearing a dark hoodie, standing unnaturally still. Her heart hammered. Jake, she whispered. He followed her gaze. The woman turned, just enough for Savannah to catch the unmistakable curve of her lips into a smile before she slipped into the shadows. Vanessa, Jake breathed. They ran to the car and locked the doors. She's not done, Savannah said, gripping the wheel. She's just getting started. The next few days were a blur of security upgrades, interviews with police, and Savannah's growing paranoia. Jake's apartment became a fortress with cameras and alarms, but fear slithered through the cracks. Then on the third morning, Savannah found a small black velvet box on her porch. Taped to it was a note. You wear his promise ring now, but you won't for long. Love, V. Inside was a blood-red garnet ring. Savannah dropped it as if it were scalding. The police arrived, took photos, but Harris's face told her the truth. No prince, he said. She's smart. But she's escalating, Savannah said. What's next? That night, Jake stayed at Savannah's house. Neither of them slept. At 3:24 a.m., the security alarm blared. Jake grabbed the baseball bat he'd brought with him. Savannah checked the camera feed. A figure stood in the backyard. Vanessa. She wore a white dress, hair slicked back, and in her hand was a bouquet of wilted roses. The camera caught her whispering something. Savannah cranked up the volume. Till death do us part, Vanessa said. Police sirens pierced the air. Vanessa turned toward the sound, smiled directly into the camera, then vanished into the shadows. By morning, Vanessa Crowley was in custody. The DA promised to deny her bail this time. Savannah sat beside Jake on the couch, gripping his hand. She's gone, she whispered. For now, Jake said. Savannah shuddered. The nightmare might have ended, but the fear lingered. Reality TV had taught her to expect drama. But real terror, that was unscripted, unrelenting, and far from over.